Yes. Good morning. I don't really have a lot to say. I'll leave it up to you guys. Oh God, got up at 4. Then went back and got up at 7. That works. Alright, you guys control the show here. I can't give Popeye too much content here. So you guys begin the dialogue. Know what I'm saying? Oh, it's by accident. I put this show on. Oh, righty then. Sometimes I got to leave it up to my audience to, you know, kind of get the dialogue going. So I don't always like the responsibility of coming on here and, you know, feeling that I got to say something about something. Know what I'm saying? No, I'm just making tea here. I really don't have a lot to talk about. I shouldn't even put a show on, really. I'm just kind of, like on Burnout City. Yeah, it could be USA, it could be anywhere, but, Burnout City. Bach. BOC. Oh, well. Oh, well. Oh, well. That makes a show. Oh, well. Anyway, guys. Anyway, guys. Hey, that's a show. According to some people. All right. I should read a story or something here. I don't know. I mean, I do have constituents out there. People who need to know. Did I say need to know what? Need to know what? What do you need to know? That hasn't already been talked about. Talk. Everybody wants to get into the act. Cha. So what do you guys want to know about? Oh, really? That's a hard one. What do you want to know about? You come on because you want some drama. I get it. What if I can't give you any today? Was it worth it, Popeye? Oh, we're just playing with you this morning, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, I should do something like read a good story or something, Story time. Do bedtime stories for people. It's one thing we lack on here. Maybe find a good book, electronic book, and read it online. That would be a show. That would be a show. The old fireside chats. That would work. Take you back when everything was radio. And people really enjoyed that shit. It actually wasn't shit. My understanding, it was fantastic. Where families sat around They weren't playing online games. That shit's not good for kids. It's not good. They get into gaming and they get into it so bad that if they lose, they get into these moods. They don't even want to eat. Mm, that gets bad. Our society. Okay, so what are you guys waiting for? I'm just gonna be having a cup of tea. What do you want to hear? Breaking news! Breaking news. Well, I don't really have any breaking news. Well, certainly nothing breaking. Oh. Should I reveal something here? Maybe not. Oh, okay, I don't know. Somebody volunteered. They wanted to be a witness in this case, and we're going to see where that goes. Ooh, okay. That sounds like breaking news. All right, what's up, Mazda 9? You're the only brave soul that decided to acknowledge yourself. Well, you know the Seinfeld show, it's basically a show about nothing. Well, this is a show about nothing. Hola. Hola to you too, Andrea Maribel. No, it's just a cool morning here. I'm having a cup of tea a little late. There's a wasp flying around me. Must be a nest somewhere. He must be trying to build something. I keep on seeing him in the same spot over here. Ooh, hopefully not under the table here. How about one? Sort of, kind of. I'll either bore you to death or, give you total excitement by not talking about anything. Hola. No, this is more than a C. You don't know what's in there. I don't know. I was thinking about if I'm going to do any shows, I might do a Thanksgiving special. Oh, yeah. Last year I had a great Thanksgiving, but I was criticized about what we were eating. And I'm thinking, really? That was quite a spread. No turkey. It's hard to find turkey out here, but I kind of lost my taste for turkey. I don't know, I used to enjoy it back in the States, but not as much as when I was growing up, actually. Those were the days, my friend. I thought they'd never end. You know the song, Nothing is as it was. Master Nine, by the way, how old are you anyway? And where do you hail from? Curiosity. You're not even in the Philippines, are you? I think most people on here are not even from the Philippines. They're not actually living out here. I've been contemplating my root canal when I'm going to do this. It's okay for now. But remember I was talking about all those antibiotics, which are not good. And nothing's bothering me right now with that tooth. But it was at one point. I went in and blah, blah, blah. She gave me antibiotics. Oh, God, antibiotics. I said, jeez. And if I went to get the root canal, I'd have to have more antibiotics. I'm saying, when is enough? Now, you can't take that shit too often, man. But I had circumstances where I had a respiratory thing going on with a upper respiratory infection, and I had to take that so it didn't turn into pneumonia. You know, when you get older, first thing they do, well, just to be careful, we're going to give you on these antibiotics. I had to have antibiotics when I had my kidney stent removal. In fact, jeez, they give that stuff out like candy. Sapiro Negretto. I know a little Spanish, but I don't know what that means. Sounds Spanish to me. This is good enough for you, Popeye. I'm sorry. You expected some juicy material this morning. Nah, can't give me any. Just sipping my morning tea. This is actually late tea for me after 7. No, I'm not. In Ledo. No, I'm not. In trying to get my Spanish going here, but it's been a long time. En el rancho hay muchos animales. See, this is just a little proving grounds. If there's no drama, you're not going to get 20, 30 plus people on here. A foreign being, foreign doing diddly squat in the Philippines. Lovely. You heard I'm getting beat up soon by some guy from Thailand. Oh, you heard wrong. Not that I'm aware of. Anything else you want to share? Thailand. Why not Philippines? Anything else marvelous you want to share, Mr. Foreigner, doing diddly squat in the Philippines? I guess not. What I've done to him? No. I think you got it. I think you got it the other way around, brah. In fact, he did it to himself. How's that? Got it wrong. You got it way wrong. Hey, what am I eating this morning? Gotta keep up my figure here, you know. What I've done. And what have I done to him he hasn't done to himself? I think you've seen it the wrong way. Yep. Actually, there are things going on that I can't discuss on here. That's for sure. Yeah. Anything else? Did you know that Drew Arthur Norby has his own channel? Unless that's somebody else putting it on. Drew Arthur at the Family Suites in Mabolo area. Has his own show under his real family name. Although that was probably put on by somebody else. Is that news? I don't know. Maybe it's not news. You see, these channels are fueled by drama. This is a good test right here. Okay, anything else? This is a show about nothing, although it's about something. No, it's not a Seinfeld ripoff, but storms are coming, folks. Storms are coming. All kinds of storms. The one thing I never understood, why do people move and live in Luzon in those areas where they're constantly always hit by Mother Nature? Something's going on, whether it's an earthquake or extreme flooding, typhoons. Lovely place to live. Then it makes you wonder, why do people live at the foot of volcanoes too, when they know historically it's gone off? I mean, very interesting concept. Never understood that. Why do you want to live in a very dangerous area? Just as the Elliott kid, he decided to live in southern Mindanao. Why? Not even for a woman would I do that. But it gave, people a lot of things to talk about. They're still talking about it, coming up with their theories, anything to drive their show. Let's talk about the Elliott kid. Then Philippines Information Channel comes up with his own channel, the Boston guy. It's the same shit. Why don't you just stay with the Philippines Information Channel? I don't understand that. But I think I know what's going on. He's kind of doing a little double dipping. I think he's trying to get two channels going to make more money. That's usually the denominator. Wouldn't you say? Look, you don't live in a $80, whatever it is, a $40 apartment for nothing. I mean, there's always a reason. If you're doing very well, as far as what you take in every month, I just can't see why you want to live in a broom closet. I just don't get it. Then if you have a girlfriend, and whether or not she's living with you or not, that's another thing. But if she is, that's kind of some tight quarters there. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't understand on YouTube here, but, it is what it is. Everybody has their reason for doing something, I guess. But no, I couldn't live in a tight situation like that, not really. I did once. I did once. I didn't care as long as it was a room with a mattress in it. I was actually kind of forced to live in that situation. But I didn't mind, actually. I knew it was temporary, but it was a place to put my head. Now, if you have circumstantial situations, I could see that. But, if you're making, decent money every month, I mean, you come out here to retire, why live in a shoebox? I never understood that. Save money. You want to save money for what? If you're making good money as it is, or decent money, between pensions and Social Security, get a nice place. You're supposed to be living the life, you know. Why downgrade? Well, it's cheaper to live out here in many respects, but certainly for housing, that you want to get a shoebox to live in. I don't know. And have a collection of like 200 harmonicas and you can't even play it. And hang a couple guitars on your wall that you can't even play. I don't know. People do things for reasons I guess I'll just never understand. I guess it gives them something to do. Am I boring you? Maybe that's my intent actually this morning. I'm just sitting here with a cup of tea, that's all. It wasn't even worth the show. The show about nothing. And most shows on here are about nothing unless there's drama. But, you know, you hear the same old things, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Only they turn it around or the cost of living. How many times do we have to hear people's shows about how much you should be making per month to live out here? And, oh, who's this guy? There's this young guy that has a show on. He has long hair and he talks like, out of a Mike Myers movie or something. He sounds like he's high all the time. And I think he's living on $600 a month. No, dude's in his 20s, man. He's in his 20s. What's the name of his show? I can't think of it. He's got long hair and, a resemblance of a little mustache or something, and always without a shirt on. And he's been to Colombia. He's been to some places. He's traveling around. He's in the Philippines, boasting about the Philippines and the women and the friendly people and the beautiful ocean and so forth. And you got a lot of these, what do you call babies out there? I was going to say credit card babies, but that could apply too. Makes you wonder, how did they're at a young age and they're traveling around all over the country. Where did they get this money from? Trust fund babies or something, That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's great if you could do it, and certainly do it at a younger age. That's great. By all means, travel, see the world. If you could do that. No responsibilities or even work, just traveling around. And what's better than that? I can't think of what's better than that. You don't have to work and you can travel around anywhere you want to go. You got that solid cash from daddy or something. You could do that. I mean, what could be better than that? Nothing's better than that. You're young, you're healthy, agile, But then you state you're living on $600 a month. What do you do when you get a girl? If you get a girlfriend or something, that 600 doesn't sound very attractive anymore. When you got to put out in order to get. I guess where there's a William, there's a way. Can you live on 600 a month? Yeah, you probably could, but I don't think you're going to have an exciting life. If you want to live on rice and fish heads, which I can't do. Sorry, but I can't do that. I suppose if I had to. There's a lot of things we do if we had to. But 600 a month? Nah. You know, these shows have been out there talking about, everybody has their own opinion about how much they should be making per month in order to live out here. Boy, did that get tiresome. Everybody has their own opinion. Nah, you never make it on that, or I'm doing great with it. I got girlfriends, I go out, I'm able to go out, drink, and do this and do that. Oh, yeah, sure, sure, sure. Get a medical emergency. See how far your $600 goes. Unless you got a bunch of money in the bank or something. That's a whole different story. Then I say, okay, maybe you're only making $600 a month, but you got some money packed away. Okay, that's a whole different scenario. But these guys are fooling themselves because in the reality is when something does come up, like it did for me, either got some money stacked away at a bank or you don't to take care of it because, you're not going to go into no hospital and get any service. The hell you're not. That just ain't going to happen. It's that bad. I mean, they'll refuse you unless you could, I don't know, sign some kind of like promissory note or some shit like that, or pass. But that's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way, if at all. A lot of people don't realize that. Oh yeah, it's all fun and games. Come to the Philippines, but it's not all fun and games. Trust me, it's not. Everybody watches other people's shows, and they basically, when a lot of people have a channel, they highlight all the great things that they're doing in the Philippines and how wonderful it is. It is a wonderful place, but it's not for everybody. And they're just going to highlight when they go out for something, but most of the time, they're not out doing all these adventures all the time. They're home with their fucking air conditioner on if they can afford it. Now, that's a fact. They try to, highlight the wonderful times. Going out with friends, drinking, music playing, girls all around. It's not always like that. There's a lot of downtime here in the Philippines, especially, if you're a retirement age. There's a lot of downtime. Trust me. I have an old friend that's moving back to the Philippines, and he's a little bit older than me. He admits all he does. He wants his chair, his television set, and he's happy. Well, at least he admits that. But there's really not a lot you're able to do when you get a little bit older. I mean, you're not Gumby. You're not that agile anymore. Most of us are arthritic in some way or another. You can't do what we used to do. Acrobatics in every way you could think of. It's becomes difficult. I mean, shit, my legs are so goddamn tight, but they've always been. That's why when I used to practice roundhouse kicks, I just couldn't get my leg up high enough to hit that fucking bag. And that's when I was younger. Now it's like, if I can reach your groin area, I'm doing real well. I'm doing real well. No frog hunting last night. Toad, not frog, actually. Shit, I don't know if it's good or bad. I've been maintaining a certain weight. I seem to be hovering about this one weight. And I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm at an ideal weight of where I actually should be. Because maybe I've always got used to being about 78 kilos, where I'm now about like 73 kilos, which is not, alarming, but I guess certain lifestyle choices made me lose weight here too. Because I used to have my moments where if chips were something around the house and I was hungry, I'd probably have some. Sometimes we would make popcorn. I don't do that no more. I don't go out and buy a bag of chips or Fritos or something like that. Or I never, well, I used to do that back in Hawaii. I had this one particular girlfriend. It turned out to be ginormous later on after the breakup, years later. I mean, geez, put a striped shirt on her, a bathing suit or something. You think she was a beach ball. People change. People absolutely change. Nobody stays the same. I gotta say one thing about me, though. As I look at my own bod, I don't really see a 70-year-old body here. Not really. Oh, there's a little bit of crinkling in the crease of my arm here. If I extend it, I don't see it. If I don't extend it, I can see. The elasticity is going down a little bit. But I haven't been doing as much vitamin C. I gotta continue with that, actually. Well, the C was a culprit, actually. That kind of put me over the edge with the kidney stones because I was getting those IVs, which are really good, by the way, what was being pumped in me for health. But the unfortunate thing is that there was 10,000 milligrams of ascorbic acid in there. I don't think that helped. And that's why I think that was a precursor to the kidney stone situation, to be honest with you. That was a bad. Good intent, and what they actually was getting in my IV was some damn good shit. Worthwhile, yes. Still believe in it, but because they were combining it with, a crazy amount of ascorbic acid, no. That's the part that didn't work out real well. But you live and learn. And I'm sure that was, I call it a precursor to having the kidney stone situation. I'm feeling so much better. I was getting these aches in my lower back for a while because, your kidney was irritated from having a goddamn stent laying on it for 2.5, 3 months. Duh. Yeah, I'd say so. It's been a lot better. A hell of a lot better. Like I said, just for the hell of it, if you could afford it, the ultrasound or try ultrasound, it doesn't cost that much out here if you're in the Philippines. Or, to run a couple of blood tests or urine tests, actually, and kind of see what's going on inside. Because let me tell you, the last thing you're going to want is kidney stones. Believe me, it's the last thing you're going to want is kidney stones. And maybe some of you think that I kind of exaggerate this thing, but no, I can assure you I have not been exaggerating at all. I gotta make more tea. That was not very potent. That shit hurts. Like I said, I don't know what it's like to get knifed in your flank, your lower flank, but, use my imagination, it would be probably what it would feel like. And I can definitely tell you it's not a pleasant feeling. You'll know when you have kidney stones. But you got to be careful. You never know what it is. And you assume that that's what it is. And chances are that's what it would be. But there are other things to worry about too. Pancreas, shit like that. A lot of people have pancreas. I had a friend in Kona in Hawaii, Bob. Great guy. Great sense of humor. I used to visit him every now and again. And he started having unexplainable pains in the area where your pancreas would be. It was exactly what it was. And he rushed himself to the hospital. And while he was laying down to get a CT scan, he had a massive heart attack and he died. Little did he know he was going to be dead that day, just for going in to investigate something that was happening with him. It's just that you just never know. Everybody assumes that if you're under a certain age, that you're going to live forever. And, you've been lucky so far. You haven't had anything disastrous happen to you medically. Well, up to that point, maybe you've been lucky, but No matter what age you are, it does not matter because you could be hit with something that you never expected before. A sudden onset of something that just hits you. It's a funny thing about life. You never know what you're going to get, like that box of chocolates. You just never know. That's why you really do have to upkeep your maintenance, you know. Don't be afraid to go to a lab or something. Don't be afraid to get some urine or blood test to kind of see what's going on, because that's how they discover whether you have something. They examine the blood, if your white cells are off or red blood cells are off or whatever it might be, lymphocytes, whatever. It's an indication for something, and that's how they investigate. They have to start off with urine and blood tests, especially blood tests. And that's how they do that. And it indicates something. This way it allows them to investigate further. Well, let's see. What is the reason your white count's so high or blood count? You know, and they have to investigate from there. And that's how they figure out what's going on with you. But if you don't go and get tested, I know everybody's saying, you know, if you're younger, you think you're going to live forever, but that's just not true. Not even remotely true. How many athletes that are perfect specimens, you know, as far as the cardiovascular health and everything else, that die of heart attacks and other things that happen to them? They make the assumption that I'm athletic, you know. I don't smoke, I don't drink, you know, I regularly exercise, and the world looks pretty promising. Then out of the blue, something comes up. It's the way it works. You can't assume anything. Well, you guys are not talking this morning. Oh, okay, I know why. There's no drama here. But it's worthwhile for Popeye to simulcast me, though. So I guess it's good for something. Got to keep the old boy occupied. Hey, I'm just sitting here with my tea. I just refreshed my tea here. That's exciting. It's an activity. Welcome to being a senior. I know. There are some seniors that do acrobatics, believe it or not. There's people in their 80s that are doing things that people in their fucking 20s can't do. But that was their lifestyle. And they continued that lifestyle all their life, and that's why they could do that. It's amazing what people could do in their 80s. I see these feeds on Facebook and otherwise. I say, what the fuck? Are you kidding? This old lady, she's like in her 80s. She was doing fucking the parallel bars, gymnastics. I said, holy shit. Right, no drama, no chit chat. There you go, Kinsey. You got it. See how that works? This is just proving. That's why I started off not saying anything at all, just making my tea. And yes, that was a purposeful testing. Then I kind of graduated into actually talking about something. But it was a good test. I had over 26, 27 people here. And unless it was drama, they weren't giving in to talk about it. It just goes to prove that, you know, people are attracted to channels when there's drama or there's some chick on there or something, you know, some Filipina, good-looking Filipina, or what they may regard as a good-looking Filipina, but, you know, I may argue that. You know, I was looking at some of the girlfriends or wives and shit of some of these YouTubers, and I'll tell you what, I've yet today, I'm trying to think if there was, who had a really good-looking girlfriend or wife? I'm trying to, I just haven't seen much of that. What they cherish as being this, like, really hot babe, I didn't agree. But everybody has their own taste. To each his own, it's one of those things. Some guys are lucky to get a woman at all, really, considering their personality traits and all kinds of shit like that. It's amazing that a guy would find a woman out here at all, unless it's strictly a business deal. And nobody does that, do they? No. Nobody does that. Pay for play. That's what I call it, pay for play. That's shallow. I mean, that's shallow. I couldn't live with that situation. You're probably a nothing to begin with, and then to have to pay for some chick to be with you every night, by the week or by the month or whatever your arrangement is. It's shallow. Completely shallow. You might as well be alone. You're probably better off being alone. You probably have a bigger pocket. But again, to each his own. Whatever floats your boat and makes you happy. And they all float. They all float. In the end, they all float. I'm kind of glad to see that this Elliot kid thing is kind of calming down. I wish him well. Nobody deserves whatever happened to him. I'll end it with, as far as him, the only thing I can say about him is that he's unlikely alive. Not this long, because there was no ransom note, there was nothing like that. There was no ransom or nothing. They got all these suspects in custody, but they're not saying anything about his whereabouts because they don't want to be indicted for murder if that's what happened. But why are they in jail? Why are they being held? Under suspicion, but that doesn't pay the rent. It's a suspicion. I guess some of them may be admitted. Well, I don't know. That he was kidnapped or something? I'm not even sure of that. But boy, I'll tell you what, the YouTube has sure played this out. Yeah, I wish well for the kid, man. It don't matter what stupidity he had. Some of the things he was doing and saying on his show would attract a situation, maybe being kidnapped, but I don't have to go into the detail of that if you've been following it. He said some stupid things on there. Now, there's no freaking way in the world I would ever live in, southern Mindanao? Not for any woman. She'd have to, say, no, we're going to live north somewhere. Even if it's the nearest city, that's safer. But no, I mean, that's... So what does she know about this, too? I mean, is she involved in this? People have all kinds of speculation on this. Did her family notice? I mean, her family was supposedly warning him about the dangers. Maybe they knew something he didn't. I don't know. And you don't go marry a person and then convert to her religion just to satisfy the family. That's wrong. That's a mistake. Because they know you're not sincere. You're only doing that to satisfy her or the rest of the family. That was a mistake, too. There's a lot of mistakes he made. A whole lot of mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes. But generally, we learn from them. Generally. Some don't, but, we can certainly get into that, but then it would turn into drama. Okay, if there ain't going to be no dialogue like that, that's my fault. That's my fault. Because I'm not talking about drama. Or else my screen would light up with lots of comments, wouldn't it? Well, I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to have for breakfast here. I'm going to begin my exciting morning here. I got to start getting back into my exercising. I haven't touched my treadmill for well over 3 months. Well, because I couldn't. They were telling me you had to stand, you can't do this, you can't do that. Okay. Became a good clothes rack. And generally, I always use mine. But I've had exercise equipment in the past, not here. But they always turned out to be a good purpose, to hang some clothes when it was raining outside, to let them dry in the house. They acted as a clothes rack. And that goes true for a lot of people. They have good intent when they buy one, But then something happens or something, and it just lays there. And well, I got to use it for something. But no, I did use it, and I will continue to use it. Actually, I'm at that stage now where I'm ready to go again, ready to hit it, keep the cardio going and the blood moving, which I've mentioned on my show many times is critical if you want to stay alive for a little longer. Keep the blood flowing so you don't wind up clotting up. Know what I'm saying? Okay, you guys are boring me now. I should go over and listen to my exciting show on Popeyes. I'm sure he's running a simulcast. But the question is, was it worth his time doing a simulcast of me today? I don't think so. But he's got to have something to do. God bless him, you know. He's got to have something to do. Are we going to have a Thanksgiving special on YouTube? Anybody's planning that? Oh, I know there's going to be a Christmas special from somebody. That's for damn sure. Nobody wants to be in certain situations, especially during the holidays. But then if you really, what is the holidays anyway? It's a commercial thing. It's not what it was 100 years ago. But the holidays meant something. It wasn't always for greed. To get you to go out and buy things, to spark the economy. Whether it's Valentine's for candy and flowers, whether it's Halloween for candy and costumes, whether it's Thanksgiving to further the turkey industry and the stuffing industry and all that. There's always a commercial reason behind all of that. And Christmas, of course, so you could get all the stores and the malls and other places out of bankruptcy, because that's the time of year that they make most of their money is during Christmas season. And it's by no accident that they start Christmas in what they really started in September out here. It's by no accident. Tom, what are your thoughts on Heidi of the Philippines antique show? That's a good one. I don't know. I don't have much opinion about her, really. They're like anybody else. They're trying to, supplement their income. Yeah, I know what she did in her past. I think it is kind of ballsy to come on and do a show and knowing that what she did in her past. But there's a lot of ways of looking at it. You paid for your crime. I don't know. It's according how liberal you are. And what do you call it now? The woke generation. God, I hate that. The woke generation. Jesus Christ. They got to label our generations with something. I'm a baby boomer. There was the Generation X and blah, blah, blah. Millennials, whatever, woke generation. Why do we got to label everything? So my thoughts of Heidi. I don't have really much. I know she has some serious health problems. I know that. George might be a lonely guy someday. Well, he may go before her. I don't know. He's a very unusual guy, the way he talks. They have an unusual relationship, I could say that. I think a lot of their shit is choreographed. They're going to get into little spats and stuff. But then the time that pisses people off is when they go for long periods of time where they mute what they're saying. Yeah. I don't have really much of opinion. I tune in every now and then. And then when I start hearing the same topics, talking about Elliot and things like that, or repeating things everybody else has talked about, they're so gung-ho about Google, and they've been to the Google headquarters, and really proud people wearing the Google gifts, the hats and everything else. And I don't know. Just, here's the thing. Don't let YouTube be your only thing, and it seems like with these guys, because it's like almost like a daily show. I used to do those daily shows too on a regular basis. But that's quite a big responsibility. It really is. You feel that you have to go on because people are expecting you to go on and say something about something. That's quite a responsibility. You know, even Sentai 7 got off because, I don't know. Well, he was getting attacked by a lot of people. Probably got tired of that. But he admitted that, the editing he's got to do compared, juxtaposed against the income he was making from his show probably didn't really pay out because, what do you would normally charge for your work per hour if you did work for somebody? How long did it take him to do editing and correcting this? And, that adds up. Then how much were you making? How much super chat were you making on your show? And then minus like, 30 or more, 40% of that. And sometimes it just isn't worth it. I don't think it is. I've been doing shows lately on some lives, but I think as you can see, my heart really isn't into it. I think you know where this is going. I'm just waiting for something, that's all. I'm just waiting for something. I'm not going to give you my trade secrets. I'm just waiting for something. Then I will not be on here at all. Period. So enjoy the time that I put any kind of shows on at the moment. Mm-hmm. There's a saying I used to use is there's a method to my madness. And there always has been. Since I've ever been on YouTube, there's a method. But let's just face it, most successful shows are dramatic. And people who have guests on their shows, some of them do a pretty good job. And there's some of them that have spoken about some really interesting stuff and, their perspective on the Philippines and stuff. Now, there was one, I never really got to see all of it. And it was from Paul's show. And there's a white chick who's been living in the Philippines. And I guess she was originally or still or whatever married to a Filipino guy. Now, that's something you don't see out here. Although in town here, there's an older gal that I've seen many times, so I assume she is living out here. You don't see that. You see guys moving here, but there's usually no reason for Caucasian women to move to the Philippines. There really isn't. That's a rare sight. And there's a lot of Europeans and so forth that love to visit Asia. They come to the Philippines, they check it out, they go to Thailand, they go all different places. But I've seen a lot of that. A lot of young guys too with their girlfriends, and they're on their parents' money or something and having a gay old time, just visiting all the Asian countries and having a pocket full of money to do that. You could be successful on a show. Look at 8 Miles from Home. He's got all the elements in that show that just kind of melt together. They got the cute little girl that has that British accent, and very intelligent. His wife with a British accent. He's different. He's got this long hair, which I think he should cut because I don't know. I even suggested cut your damn hair, but to each his own. But fucking guy's got a house now, nice car, this and that, all from his viewers' money. There was a lot of controversy that during the storms, and controversy is going to a lot of different bloggers. How were they able to afford that? FJ Cruiser, like in Tim K and even other channels. Where are they getting the money for this shit? Are they making that good on their AdSense? Well, it's the donations. Come up with a cause. What you got to do is suck these people in and then just reel in the benefits, There has to be an element to your show, whether you got a woman on your show with you or something in that direction, or a cute kid, or something. Oh, how nice. Or whether it's a dog or a kid or something. A woman in a bathing suit or something. We've seen all these efforts by people. And a lot of times it does work. You got to understand there's a lot of horny guys out there that, they can't come to the Philippines. They're hoping to someday, and they're seeing everybody, and they got these Filipinas, and they think it's so easy to get one. And yeah, if you want to pay for one, literally pay for them, But it's not as easy as you think it is, at least to find a good one anyway. I mean, you could find any Filipino you want, really, out here, if you really try, if you just want companionship. But to find one that's worth their salt and staying with and spending time with and whatever, no, that's a whole different ball game. It's not that, I don't care what you hear on here, it's not that easy. Sorry, you're gonna hear some clanking. It is not that easy. Don't mind what people say on here. It's really not. There's a lighter thing. I guess I'll make some eggs or something. You want anything special this morning?
No.
We don't know
Thank
what to
you.
make. I don't know. You might want, I don't know, you might need to heat it up or you might need to add more water to that. I'm trying to figure, I was going to settle with some oatmeal, but I could have both. I don't know. Sometimes I get tired of plain eggs, you know. I just, for the protein is why I have eggs. You got to keep the protein coming in as you get older because it keeps your muscle tone. You don't have enough, but you don't want too much of it either because here comes the creatinine levels. You don't want them to be high for kidney damage and all that. I don't know. I'm learning this stuff as I go. It's one of those situations. Pay as you go or learn as you go. You pick up a little something here and there. And you learn from it. I guess I use olive oil as my base here. I don't know. Plain eggs, not always very tasteful. Plain eggs. Well, I'm on there longer than I thought I was. But we sure do go through some eggs around here, I could tell you that. We sure as hell do. And the sunny side of the town. So the sunny side up. I'm not really good at doing an egg with one hand. Are you proficient with that, Gina? You know how to do it with one hand? Let me see how creative you are. One hand. Ah, that's impressive. Hey, do that again. Hey, you got one more. Do that again.
Okay.
Oh, that's professional. Look at that. My God. Yeah. That celery's about gone, man. I had to break off some stuff, and that's now no longer usable on there. I can tell you I've been eating a lot of tuna fish, sometimes for lunch. And what I buy, if I have to really tell you, I buy Ocean Naturals. I get them in Cebu. Albacore, solid white tuna in olive oil. That's what I get. Let's look at the specs. Only 3 grams of satch, no trans fats, only 50 milligrams of cholesterol. That isn't too bad. Sodium, well, there's always going to be a lot of sodium, and if we can't get away with everything, sugars, none. It's got vitamin D, calcium, 0, iron, potassium. Yeah, the thing is, potassium levels, you got to put under control. You don't want too much potassium. That could cause problems with even things like kidneys and whatever. Look, the fact is, you just can't get away with everything. It's just, there's nothing perfect out there. There's just nothing perfect. You can't, it seems like no matter what the hell you eat, you're doing something wrong. When you think this is great for you, and you go to Google, look up some. I'll give you an example. What kind of foods are good for your kidney? And you go to see a little article saying, yeah, this is excellent source for, it's great for your kidneys. Then you look right below it, it says, no, this is not good for kidneys because so who do you believe anymore? There's like nobody to believe. Just like on YouTube, everybody has their own opinion about something, whether they're right or wrong. But they'll push their beliefs on somebody else. I only state things that are factual. Or at least well researched, at least that, before I'll say anything. Is there such thing as there's a keto diet, there's all this shit. Is there such thing as a perfect diet? Not really, because it's to each individual, their own metabolism, what your requirements are. You just got to be smart. When I had GERD, doctor was trying to give me these proton pump inhibitors, which cut off your acid supply pretty much, right? He was wrong. And that's a gastroenterologist. You need acid in your stomach as much as you can. And then what happens metabolically after you take this shit, you wind up developing other problems because your absorption on proteins, all kinds of shit, go to hell. And then you get sick from that. So it's really hard to believe even doctors. Like I said, you got to do your own research and you got to be happy with what you have come down as a conclusion as of what you're going to put in your body or on your body or whatever. That's just the way it is. Do you want any eggs? No. You can have half of this if you want. And then the bread. I'm kind of really reluctant to have bread. But sometimes I like a little toasted bread with my eggs. Then I think, oh yeah, you hear about keep your carbs down. That's a major problem with the carbs. Yeah. Major problem with the carbs. So what do?
Huh? I cook.
No, I'm talking to them. Oh. What are you going to cook? Oh. Oh, look at this. This is for later. These are sweet potatoes, dudes. Now that is okay. That's okay. I mean, it's not making that for breakfast, but you could. I mean, why the hell not? Why the hell not? You could eat grass too if you want. Ask any cow, They think it's great. No, but sometimes we have pancakes and things like that, Pancake, I vary some of the things we eat around here. Variable. I haven't been eating my oatmeal for a while. It's just that the leftover I do have, it's been laying there, and you can't let oatmeal lay there because it can sometimes gather a lot of different type of bacteria, of fungus and stuff that lay there. People have actually gotten sick, especially the container that you put it in. You only got like a quarter of it filled. I don't want to get into that, but little things that I pick up now and then. See, I don't like getting sick. And some of you guys might think you go a little bit overbound on how careful you are with this and that, but well, for good reason. Did you ever have a pain in your stomach? Did you ever get ill from something you ate, like, food poisoning or something? Well, if you ever did, well, then maybe you just understand where I'm coming from. It's not a pleasant feeling to be sick in the stomach and be nauseous and in pain. Unless you get off on that kind of shit. I don't get off on that. It's horrible. That's one thing, the stomach in that area. To be ill, to have some kind of a viral thing going on or something with your intestinal system or anywhere in that area. That's murder. That's not comfortable at all. So that's why I'm sometimes careful in what I do. Who likes to be sick? Nobody likes to be sick. You can't always plan it, being sick. It's not something you're planning on being sick. Who would plan on being sick? Nobody. But sometimes things just fucking happen. You got to deal with it. Like anything else in life, you got to deal with it. Okay, not much of a dialogue going on in here, actually. I'm just going to eat my breakfast. I got to have something with this, though. I'm not sure what. It's not usually a complete breakfast for me. No. But great test. No drama, no llama. It's all about drama. Expecting me to talk about somebody in particular? Was ya? Was ya really? Did I catch you off guard? Guess I did. Prove my point. I still take vitamins. Yes, I do. I'm very limited now. And I take the ones I take for a reason. So I've cut back on certain ones, and I'm still staying with, well, the majority really, but I have cut down. God, I'm still hungry. 2 eggs just doesn't cut it for me. That's why I usually have toast with it. I was too lazy to make. But my diet did go down. I mean, there are things I'm not eating on a regular basis. Henceforth, losing a little bit of weight. Which is good. I mean, it's good weight loss, not bad weight loss. I may bitch about my weight and say, man, I'm only about 170 pounds, and I'm now like, 160 or something like that. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. You can maintain it. You don't want to be overweight. That's just for damn sure. That's so problematic. It's really problematic. So many things happen from being obese. Everything metabolically just goes fucking haywire. Diabetes, and diabetes turns into other problems, heart problems, this, and that. I guess I could say that, avoid diabetes at all costs. Keep your glucose, whatever, monitored, whatever you have to do. Nobody wants these things, but a lot of it is contributed to your lifestyle. You can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. Then they'll complain when something happens to them. Yeah, all the time. Oh, I wish I didn't do that. Well, you should have thought of that in the first place. My opinion about people that are really overweight, there is no excuse for it. By the way, I didn't realize that Big E was that fat. I guess he lost some weight. But I seen a picture of him. Drew Northey has a channel where somebody created it under his name. And he flashed a picture of Big E. Probably an old picture because I think Big E lost some weight. Holy shit, his fat face was fatter than fucking Ricky's. And I'm thinking, at that height and being that overweight, that boy's got something to worry about. Seriously speaking. You can't be that tall and that overweight and expect to live a normal life expectancy. You just can't. It just doesn't work that way. Overweight people do not live long lives at all. That's just a fact. Look it up. You don't have to listen to me. They do not live a long life expectancy at all. There's always winds up being heart problems and many other things too. So if you're overweight, you might want to consider, look at Big Kevin. He lost a lot of weight. I'll give him credit for that. Got to give credit when it's due. And We know how big he used to be. He lost a lot of weight. Now, I don't know what kind of foods he's eating to maintain his weight. I don't really know. But if he's starting to get back into drinking again over where he is, that's not going to help the situation at all. All the calories and all that stuff with alcohol. No, it's not going to work. But to each his own. You do what you feel you need to do for your own body. But generally speaking, being overweight never works. It didn't work good for Fazio either. God, I remember those pictures. I actually found a picture in my files of his swollen foot. Edema he had there. Holy crap. I'm glad I didn't find the photos when he had the sores in there, because that's something that was really hard to look at. I couldn't believe he was walking around with something like that. I just could not believe. How do you let something go that bad? God, spend the money, see a real doctor, get to the problem. And I said hyperbaric treatment. That's the only thing that would have helped him at that time. But he would have needed intravenous type of antibiotics. He'd be alive right now. You'd be hearing him chatting away, talking about all the tools, but people do things to themselves. It was a shame that Fazio let himself go like that. Yeah, whether you liked Fazio or not, and I didn't, but on a human level, I guess, you don't really want to see people going through something like that. No matter how much you didn't like him, and I'll repeat again, I didn't like him at all. You could have that piece of white on the egg if you, seriously speaking, all kidding aside, he suffered a lot. He just, the other thing was, it really fucked him up too. Whenever he's having pain from all the shit he had, he was taking NSAIDs like crazy, like they were M&Ms. The ibuprofen stuff, and I remember the amount he was taking at once and how many times a day. Now, when I had the kidney pain, I was taking ibuprofen up to the level that you're allowed to take it per day. That was it. But he took them like it was candy. And that'll sure mess your liver up right there and your kidney. Both, actually. Yeah, even Fazio. As I said, I didn't like the guy. I'm not going to change my mind because he died. I didn't like the guy for good reason, but, still, you hate to see such ignorance with people, how they ignore the things that they should be doing and they don't, and they just keep on doing the same thing over and over again, and that applies to other people too. The ignorance. And the fasting, that didn't help. I don't know who the hell was giving him advice. They said if you have underlying health conditions, you don't do fasting. You don't do fasting. He wasn't completely fasting. Guys, I'm telling you, he used to eat a lot of pork, which is really not like, the best thing to eat all the time. It really isn't, okay? I don't know what. But for those that miss Fazio, well, no matter what advice. Hey, guy, no matter what advice you would have given him, he wouldn't have listened to anyway. Many people don't listen to anybody's advice, and they have to wait. They have to wait till something, horrible happens. Yeah, the fasting, no, that didn't help. Well, When you're overweight like he was and everything he had and his age, I mean, what do you expect? Seriously. I've been doing fairly good, I must say, for my age. Oh, yeah, I got the aches and pains like you expect. I got disc space that's fucked up and all kinds of shit like that. Kind of goes with the territory. I can't do much. I can't do much about that. I might see that as a future problem for sure. But the one thing that I think the only kind of operation I'd ever had with something like that is if your disc just practically disappeared, you got bone on bone, then you're going to probably have to go in. Sorry about that. I mean, the fact is, we have a responsibility to ourselves. Never mind anybody else. You have a responsibility to yourself. Even your own girlfriend or wife can't tell you what to do. You know, they can give you advice, but if you don't take it, when you do something that is really stupid and you do it over and over and over again, it's on you. If you can't learn from a lesson, you're in a bad situation, either health-wise or freedom or whatever the situation might be. Who did it? I mean, it's real easy to point fingers. Oh, it's really point fingers, but you're pointing the wrong fingers the wrong direction. I'm sorry, that's the vacuum cleaner going here. I'm only going to be on a few more minutes here. Oi, moving to here. Okay, that might be a little bit better. Stephen wants to know, have you seen the hospitals and treatments getting better and better since you've been there? Well, I haven't really been in a lot of hospitals except for any needed purposes. I mean, I've been there maybe to emergency room a few times. Well, certainly no, I've seen doctors, for when I had a sciatica once. I mean, the kidney stone thing, of course. Whew, man, was that an adventure? Oh, God. I still think they're not really giving the right information to their patients. If you're going to have a procedure, for example, lucky for me, they did doesn't mean it doesn't cause damage, to break up a kidney stone, lithotripsy it's called, okay? They have other treatments such as laser, but laser can cause some damage to surrounding tissues and all that. But so can lithotripsy. That's where they use sonic waves, whatever, to break up the stone. And that could cause damage too. What they don't tell you is it could damage your liver, your kidneys, and your urethra, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. They don't tell you that. They don't want that responsibility. Somebody that knows what they're doing, you'll probably come out of it unscathed, but there's always some damage. Look, if you had a stent put in and it's been laying on your fucking kidney for like 3 months, which I did. I even showed you a picture of the damn stent, rather. Didn't look very pleasant, did it? But imagine, your kidney having that thing laying on it for over 3 months. Yeah, it's going to irritate, inflame the shit out of it. Of course. Nothing works perfectly. And a remedy for something, then that remedy causes another problem that you got to deal with for a while. It's just until maybe yesterday or so that I've still had some kind of a flank pain, or call it discomfort. And I don't know if it's muscular or what it really is. But I would, but it's taken, well, since I've had the procedure to remove the ureter, How long has that been now? Forgot. Yeah, I've had some flank pain in that area where the kidneys are. Uh, Seems to be a little better. Not complaining too much about that. I do urinate more often, though. I do got an enlarged prostate. It's not like gigantic or nothing, but it's actually pretty normal for my age. And, when I drink something, it kind of goes through me. It does. But it wasn't like when I had the stent in. Oh, shit. I was urinating how many times a day? And how would you like to have something in there that feels like you have a UTI infection when you don't? Or you had that sense of urgency for 3 months. 3 months every single day. You're hitting the CR like at least 15 times during that day to urinate, and you never get the satisfaction of an empty bladder. How would you like that? Yeah, I've endured pain. Believe me, I have. I endured discomfort in my life on many occasions. But I'm saying it's fun. None of that's fun. But like they say, it is what it is. You just deal with a situation that maybe you don't like, but you deal with it. You don't ignore it, you deal with it. I don't care what it is, legal, medical, I don't care what the hell it is. You deal with it because you have to deal with it. If it doesn't work your way, you gave it the old college try. But you don't sit back and let something negative happen to you. I guarantee you that. Not with me. You've got a medical problem, go take care of it. Don't bitch about your pains and all this crap. Go investigate it. Spend the goddamn money. Put your liquor down for a little bit. Maybe 2 times less going out drinking with the boys. Put that money towards a couple of tests. Then allow you to go back and drink some more later on. But why wait for something to happen? Why let something happen? You know what your lifestyle is. Only you know. And gaining weight is not good. Drinking too much is not good. You know all that already. It's given information. And if you had pre-existing conditions, you should probably not have came to the Philippines in the first place. That's one of the biggest bugaboos I hear all the time. You move out here, you too concentrated on getting laid. But you came out here with pre-existing even heart conditions, you name it. And you came out here, of all places, you came out here. Well, if you don't have insurance, man, you better have the cash. You better have the cash to put out. You're going to die, mofo. That's serious shit. Now, even where I chose to live, and I won't be on here too much longer here, even where I chose to live, yeah, if there was a heart condition going on immediate, chances are, I won't live to get to a hospital, but you make your choices too on where you want to live. Okay. But it's just amazing the attitude. A lot of foreigners I met, they don't care. They pretty much just belched it out. They don't care. They figure I came out here, I'm retired, I'm going to eat what I want, drink as much as I want, whatever. You're supposed to be enjoying your retirement years. You want to extend them out. But some people just really don't care. They don't. Then when shit happens and they're in pain all the time, then they care. I should have changed my lifestyle. I should have done this. I should have done that. Well, you had the opportunity to do things that could be more curative. But you figured, well, a lot of expats are like that. You'd be amazed how many they don't care. I'm going to eat what I want, as much as I want, as often as I want. I'm going to drink as much as I want. I'm going to enjoy my retirement. That's like an oxymoron. I mean, it's I don't know. It doesn't make sense because you want to enjoy your retirement. How are you going to enjoy your retirement if you're in pain all the time or you become crippled or whatever because of your negligence? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me, but what makes sense to me with expats out here anyway? Oh, this chick that was on one of the shows on Paul. Sorry, man, I gotta blow my nose. That's something that ain't gonna change. I can tell you that. Hold on a minute. Yep, it's not gonna change. All right, so the chick that moved to the Philippines. Oh, I love the culture and the people, and they're friendly, and then they are. I like to interact with all the expats, and why don't you come out here to do that? You just stayed where you were. You want to come out here to, enjoy the culture, mesh. Everybody didn't move to Dumageddon, which I don't know why. I guess a lot of people want to be around people of similarity. They want to be around other expats. It's like anything. Puerto Ricans like to hang out with Puerto Ricans. Mexicans like to hang out with Mexicans. Blacks like to hang out with blacks. Certain religious factors, they like to hang out with people of their particular religion, whether you're Catholic, Muslim, or whatever you might be. People tend to stay in that direction. In a prison, it's the same thing in a prison. People group off in a prison based on ethnicity. That's a common thing that happens. It's the way people are. Me, I don't hang around any expats. I got a good relationship with my neighbor here, but I do not go out of my way. And I know expats out here. I've actually visited a few of them that I liked, but I don't hang around. I'm not there all the time. You know, Usually the way it is, you see an expat downtown, we usually nod to each other. That's like a part of the club. You recognize that you're both Caucasian and a foreigner, and you kind of give this little nod of approval. I've seen that a lot. That's as far as I take it with foreigners out here. I didn't come out here to be around a bunch of foreigners, okay? I like being around Filipinos. I have no problem with it. They are nice people. Unless there's money involved, well, that's a different story. You'll see an ugly side of everybody when it comes to money or something, but, you know, don't take things for granted. Yeah, they're friendly people, but they're human too. Everybody has a dark side to them. Remember that. Keep that under your hat. Everyone. I don't care if you're Filipino or what the hell you are. Everybody has a dark side. Just don't go in their dark side or allow them to exhibit their dark side. That's my best advice. All right, I got to get out of here, man. Okay. I'm not even dressed yet. Jeez, I'm a late starter this morning. Because I got up early, like fucking after 4. That's early. I don't know how you all sleep till 8, 10 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the hell. How the hell do you do that? As you get older, you don't need as much sleep and whatever. But 5:30 used to be my average time of getting up, and now it's been a little bit earlier. Why, I don't know, but it is what it is. And then sometimes I go back to sleep. I get a couple more hours in. I get up. I got up at 7 today or more, 7:30 maybe. So that's what I do. But I did notice something. God, I noticed this. Whew. I'll sit in my favorite chair in the living room and I'm watching TV, but I can't find anything that's that interesting. I'm falling asleep about 20 different times. Gina will say to me, "Are you sleeping, Frank?" I say, "No, no, 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 no. I'm just, closing my eyes." I find that I have to close my eyes a lot because maybe I'm just not stimulated enough on that movie because it's really hard to find any current movies. It's really difficult. Netflix, YouTube, it's all we really got. Um, and I've seen them all. Anything that was worthwhile watching, I guarantee you, especially if it was sci-fi or something, I've seen them. Yeah. You sleep less because your body knows time is running out. You think so, huh? Oh, you're always late, Jerry. Why are you always late? You sleep less because your body knows time. I don't know. There might be something to that. Time is running out for all of us, no matter what your age is. Let's face that reality. Some, running out a lot quicker than others because of their lifestyle or whatever. Well, they can't keep their mouths shut. Good morning, Jerry. My relationship to Jerry is kind of like what's his name on Cheers? What's his fucking name? The fat guy. How could I not know that? Dude, that's getting old. Newman. Newman. Hello, Newman. Hello, Jerry. It's kind of like what is it me and Jerry. Jerry just talks shit about me all the time, Philippines and beyond. He's a troll. There's no question about that. But he likes to come on my channel and act friendly, but then behind my back, well, you've all heard him. Yes, I'm talking about Newman on Seinfeld. Yes. Yes. You're not a troll. Since when? Since when? Something changed I don't know about? You haven't said good things about me, I can tell you that. Why? I don't meet foreigners. What, you could do an exclusive interview with me? That's all it's ever about. That's why you got together with Drew Norty. Yeah, I remember that interview. And you kind of sided with him, didn't you? Yeah. No, I don't meet any other. The last expat I met was, what's his face? McFisher. And he was on a fact-finding mission, unfortunately. I saw some merit in him, though. That's a shame, though. He's a very intelligent guy, actually. Big guy. He's a really intelligent guy. And I didn't have anything against him. But then I kind of figured out 2 and 2, and he was, he was on a fact-finding mission. Hoping to get something out of me he could share with somebody else. And, that just turned me off, Yeah, I met him a long time ago. A couple times. I sure did. Bought us breakfast, whatever it was, Yeah. He's a big guy. Smart guy, though. He's a smart guy. But unfortunately, although he says to me, you don't like to get involved with all the nonsense on here, I'm getting off YouTube. I'm not. But you'll still find maybe here and there some comments, or he might be going under a different name. But he was just as involved in the shenanigans as everybody else was. He used to listen to everything that went on there, It's too bad he didn't just, punch Ricky out when he had that opportunity. And also Drew Norty. He had the opportunity. Yes, he was. He was. No names mentioned. Yes, he was. I haven't really nothing against him except, I pretty much ascertained that he was on a fact-finding mission. He wanted to see what I was all about, really, and then he'd reported to his other friends, or what you want to call them, benefactors. Did he smell fishy? Why would he smell fishy? Oh, his name of Mick Fisher. Come on, dude. Shit, I didn't realize I've been on here about an hour and 27 minutes, or 37 minutes. No, I think Mick could be all right, but I think he's confused as to which side of the fence he's on. He says he's on anybody's side of the fence, he'll claim that, but it was definitely a fact-finding mission. Yeah. I'm pretty sure of it. He doesn't say anything nice about me. Even after meeting him, I thought everything was cool and all that shit. See, that's what you got to watch out because you build yourself trust in somebody and you start talking personal things to them. And then they could use that against you. And that's one of the things you have to be careful of. You thought he was gay? I don't think so. No, not the impression I got. He was a manly man, hardworking type of man, ranch, whatever he had, I don't know. Big guy. He had a lot of knowledge about everything from vitamin C. I mean, he had a lot of knowledge about a lot of stuff. He was fairly intelligent. I'll give him that. I made that assessment. It doesn't take long. I could tell when somebody's a dumbass and when they're not. But they're not always like, you know, upfront with you about their intents. That's why I'd rather just not meet anybody. Besides, I really don't have much of a future on this media anyway. This is just icing on a cake that I've been doing shows on here. I'm just waiting for something. That's all. You'll know. You'll know. You'll know. I said a few things in the past and I meant it. Just don't become dependent on all your entertainment. And I say that to kids too, when they're gaming and stuff. Don't be dependent on that alone to be all your entertainment. Don't do that. It, becomes a real habit, like smoking or drinking. It really does. And it is. It's your way of expressing yourself. You got the airwaves, I call it, out there. It's like your own radio station, man. Your own TV station, a radio station. That would have been amazing how many years ago. A lot of news stations have switched to going online. You know, look at the budget you save. Can you bring your truck to Bantayan? Why not? Of course you could. Ferries take cars and trucks. They're doing a lot with the port, by the way. They're really fixing it up. There's going to be like, I don't know what you call it. You know, on the water, it's like a place for people, what do they call it? To walk, there's a name for that. God, I'm sorry if I sound clogged up, but I am. you know, I forgot what they labeled that. It's just a walkway where people can walk near the water.